Hi, boys and girls. This is Miss Terry, and guess what? It's time to start story time again for summer reading. So I want you to remember the name of this book is Five Busy Honeybees, and I can read it to you, and you can count this book on your story time journal list also. So listen up. This is all about honeybees. Now, honeybees live in what some people call a castle. But it's a beehive, and it's where they all work to keep things done for the queen bee, who lives in the very top of the castle. Let's read about it, and you'll find all these cool things out about honeybees. And if you come to class, we're going to be making a beehive. We're going to be tasting some honey that bees made. And we're also going to get Play-Doh and make a beehive out of Play-Doh. Okay, let's listen right now and learn. I think you'll really love this book. The long, cold winter is over, and the bright spring sunshine begins to warm the home of 5 little honeybees. The sweet-smelling flowers outside cause the 5 little honeybees to dance with excitement. The traditional dome-shaped beehive is called a skep. It was replaced by a wooden box beehive with removable honey frames in the mid-1800s. However, that timeless skep remains the symbol of a beehive. Inside the hive, their mother, the queen bee, declares, "It's springtime, the flowers are blooming, and you know what that means. Now get busy, my 5 little honeybees." The 5 little honeybees quickly get to work. Each bee knows what she must do to help make delicious honey. Now, that colony of bees that lives in the beehive is very organized. Usually, there may be 100,000 worker bees. The worker bees are females who carry out their duties throughout the whole beehive and their lifespan. The first little honeybee flies out the door and searches for the blossoms with the sweetest nectar. She will carry the nectar back to the hive where it will be turned into honey. The second little honeybee also quickly flies out of the hive, but she's in search of the blossoms with the richest yellow pollen. She will load her pollen baskets to be so heavy that she can barely fly back to the hive. Honeybees have a special pollen basket on the back of their legs. It's really not like the cartoon one. And the pollen is loaded into these baskets and carried back to the hive. And when they get back, they put them in the little holes of the beehive. Back at the hive, the second honeybee will place the pollen into the wax cells to be used as food for the growing baby bees. The baby bees are called larvae. The third little honeybee follows her sisters out the door. However, she is not searching for nectar or pollen. She's looking for cool, clear water, and she will carry water back to the hive to be shared with her sisters and to help the hive cool during the hot summer days. It has to be sprinkled with droplets of water inside throughout the hive, and that's like their air conditioner, because when air comes through, it makes it cooler for the bees who are working so hard. The fourth little honeybee stays inside the hive to help her mother, the queen. The queen will be laying many eggs every day, so there can be new bees to help with the work of the hive. The fourth little bee will feed the pollen to the growing baby bees. She also helps to keep the hive clean and neat. Designated nurse bees are responsible for feeding the little baby bees, which are called larvae. The fifth little honeybee will also stay at home. She is stronger than her sisters, So she will stand by the door to make sure no unwanted creatures get into the hive and steal their precious honey. While she stands guard, she will fan her wings to blow air through the hive to help it keep cool. Right at the hive entrance. But she's called a guard bee. From sunup to sundown, the 5 little bees work tirelessly to fill their hive with honey. And when the summer is over and the leaves start to fall, the 5 little bees share their honey with their friend, the beekeeper. And the beekeeper will be sure to leave enough honey in the hive to last the hungry bees throughout the winter. When harvesting the honey from the beehive, a beekeeper must leave enough honey to last all the bees through the cold winter months. This will be their only source of food through the spring. The beekeeper carefully takes the honey out of the honeycomb, and he fills many jars with honey and returns the empty honeycomb to the beehive. The bees are excited for spring, so they can start working again. But for now, it is time to rest. During the cold winter months, the bees will cluster tightly together and create a vibrating motion to generate the heat necessary to maintain the temperature in the beehive. Now, a single bee can produce a half of a teaspoon of honey in their whole lifetime. And during the busy nectar flow months, the worker bees live about 6 weeks. And during their 6-week lifespan, the worker bee will go from one duty to another, beginning at nurse bee and completing her life by getting water, nectar, and pollen for everyone else. Honeybees might travel up to 3 miles from their hive for the nectar and the pollen. These things are unbelievable. But look for this book in our stacks where the children's books are, and I would love for you to read it. This one is by Lance Douglas. It's called The 5 Busy Honeybees. And thank you for listening today. Bye-bye, and I'll see you next week.